S21 in Cambodia, and the killing fields, the results of genocide, which occurred between 1975 and 1980. I visited in early 2000s. S21 was the secret center of a network of nearly 200 prisons where people were tortured by the Khmer Rouge. Pol Pot took control of the city and country, and ordered anyone with an education or who wore glasses out of the cities and into rice fields. Despite having no knowledge of the land, if they couldn't grow crops, they were killed or starved to death. Those that resisted were imprisoned in concentration camps, with S21 being one of the main ones. It was originally a school, a place of education and peace. It was transformed into prison of torture. Each classroom was modified to have multiple brick cubicles built inside them, similar to maybe a gym bathroom. Each classroom housed 30 to 40 prisoners. They were not allowed to shower or use the toilet. Once a month, prisoners were hosed down through the windows. There was also a process of choosing to kill an entire family, including children and babies. I forget the term, but basically, it was the idea that if one part of a tree is diseased, it is best to cut the entire tree down including the roots. There were 30,000 imprisoned at S21 over the period of Pol Pot's regime, one of many converted school torture camps. Men, women, children and babies. There was a practice of using babies for target practice. There were photos of this. From the 30,000 prisoners, there were only 12 survivors. When you visit S21, you can freely wander around the school grounds, enter the cells, stand in the torture chambers. You could feel the death and pain from the walls. Just down the road from S21 is what is known as the killing fields. This is where tens of thousands of bodies are buried in mass graves, all of whom went through the torture camps, all who were victims of Pol Pot's regime. I was told buses of people were brought in on a regular basis with those who would be brought here for their execution. You were sent here to your death if you were educated, if you wore glasses, if someone in your family did, if you resisted or refused orders. When Pol Pot was overturned, the locals collected skulls and bones and built towers with them to honor them. Giant shrines of tens of thousands of human skulls and bones are erected there. Parts of the killing fields were still littered with bones and clothing that they wore when executed. You could see patches of dirt that the wind and rain had eroded away, with bones, clothing and items visible in the dirt. This whole experience was one of the most humbling yet terrifying things I've seen that occurred on this planet, and I still sometimes can't believe these atrocities occur in my lifetime.